Liverpool FC is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my lips and I will spell. Cause they don't just play, but they can rap as well.
Okay, welcome to another episode of the Anfield South podcast. It's me again, your boy Slim. And I don't know if you can hear from my voice, I'm a little bit somber.
Don't be somber, mate.
Oh, mate.
No, the pain is real right now, you know.
The pain is a lot right now for all of us. But anyway, who have we got with us today? Boys, introduce yourselves.
Yo, Sam's here, peeps.
Sup, peeps? Sini in the building.
How you guys doing? JL back again.
And it's your boy James.
Yes, James. Good to see you again, brother.
Same to you, brother.
Got you out of South London, mate.
Finally out
That's
of
a
there.
hard thing to do, boy. South London's a hard place to get out of. You know what I'm saying? You might come out with a watch missing or a shoelace gone.
Don't be that guy.
No disrespect to my South London.
No, but they
London
think they're
South
above
London,
us, you know, because they live in West. You know, what's that about?
You actually do think you're above us. I can tell the way you come in and you strut yourself.
West is best, isn't it? Yeah,
No,
anyway, I'm playing. Boys, good to have you. Good to have you here. And just before we start, big up to JR for stepping in on the TalkSport scene the other day, representing the Anfield South. Well done, brother. Well done.
Great
Well
session,
done.
bro.
Thank you for the opportunity. That's the main thing.
Listen, you stick with Anfield South, there'll be opportunities galore. We're going places.
Yeah, it's a great experience. You know, when it comes up again, I think everybody from the cast from our group has to represent at some stage. But yeah, guys, go on, enjoy it. It was a great experience.
Wicked.
Big up.
All right. I'm tempted to jump straight into today's game because there's a lot to cover. But I think, seeing as there is going to be so much to cover on today's game, I think we should just skip back to the Bayern game, the Champions League game. Obviously, Van Dijk was missing from that game, so there was a lot talked about him being missing. But the result was 0-0. A dogged performance from Bayern, in my opinion. But now I'm gonna come to you, James. Give me your thoughts on that Champions League game.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit disappointing, to be honest with you. At home, you got to win your home games in the Champions League in the last 16, and we didn't. I think we didn't do enough to win the game, basically. But we still got a chance again. Away from home, you can be dangerous a bit. So all is not lost, but it was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, I hear that. Well, on that game, let's talk about the lineup because obviously I said Van Dijk was missing. We went with Trent, Matip, and it was Fabinho that stepped in centre back, and Andy Robertson, Wijnaldum, Henderson, and Keita, or Naby, as you know, for JR because you struggled a little bit, and then obviously the front three. JR, talk to me about Fabinho's performance at centre back in that game.
Very accomplished, very calm on the ball, and what I really liked is his positioning. He can smell danger, he can sense danger. Some players that you put into centre back or defensive positions, they don't sense danger. He's got that defensive because he at Monaco and Brazil he did play right back quite a lot. So yeah, I was very impressed with him. You wouldn't even, if you just watched Liverpool for the first time and you saw that game against Bayern, you would never know that he's not a natural. I wouldn't say natural centre back, but his first choice position isn't centre back. So I was very impressed with him. Going forward, and I would actually right about now put him in front of Lovren because I know when we were saying before.
Do you know what? That's a good shout
because he's just calm when he's on the ball. Does anyone ever feel worried like, oh my god, he's going to do a madness like Lovren?
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? You just relax.
But
yeah, go on.
He's mid. I mean, today, like we saw a couple of his sprayed passes from midfield to the right side, in particular, looking for Milner. Yeah, you miss that if you push it back a bit. So. Just to give you a little something to think about there.
Yeah, but
I think he's good at centre back, but ultimately he's a midfielder. Ultimately, you wouldn't put him in centre back if you didn't have to. Yeah. But I think as a mate weight, going on what JR's saying,
absolutely.
I think to be fair, Klopp did say that. He said obviously he's got skills, he can play in a few positions.
Can I just say that?
Used mainly in midfield, so let's not really. I mean, midfield's another discussion, isn't it?
So we'll get onto that.
Yeah.
Go on, James. You would?
No, it's okay.
Alright, cool. You good? Yeah. Anyway, Sini, from the Bayern game, any standout moments, great performances from that game?
Well, if you're bringing up Fabs, that's an obvious one. But I think there was little glimpses from Keita. of what he's capable of. I think some of the dribbles, and it's just I think he just needs a big moment, if I'm honest. That's what he's crying out for his confidence. He just needs an assist, he needs a goal, he needs a tap in, just something. But I think he was just missing in that final third, just the composure for the final ball. That final pass was just lacking. But in terms of his industry, he weren't hiding in that midfield. He was showing for the ball. And when he had the ball, he was positive with it. And that's one thing that I think we're crying out for from midfield, is somebody to be positive with the ball and want to go forward and try and make stuff happen. So I was definitely impressed with some of the things that he done. I just think that he just needs a big moment to make him.
Would you say
he's
still lacking end product?
Oh, definitely. He's got no goals.
Shout out to Ryan.
No goals.
No, has he got any assists?
No goals, no assists.
I think
that's not true. He's got 2 assists.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, he's got 2 assists.
Did he mean them though?
In what?
I'm just saying. I'm just asking. Did he
in
mean
what
them?
competition as well?
Yeah. What Premiership
in
is
the
this?
Prem?
Yeah.
Yeah, he assisted Firmino. I'm sure he assisted Firmino.
Don't get me wrong, they're rare, but he has got 2.
That was no assist, man.
Right.
But yeah, the through ball he played against Bournemouth, I'll give you that. That is kind of like assist when Salah scored when
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, cool. Bit more of that.
One.
Please. Bit more of that. Bit more. Of that.
Yeah.
We were a little bit flat in that Bayern game in an attacking sense, but then at the same time, credit to Bayern Munich, because they came with a game plan. They came for a 0-0, and they defended like that's probably one of the best defensive performances I've seen.
Did you see Kimmich when he did the tackle? He celebrated like a goal.
Yeah.
The last person I seen do that was Cellini against Spurs at Wembley last season. So that's what
it goes to show.
It shows how much it means to them
Yeah.
to come away unscathed. They showed us a lot of respect, probably too much respect. I'd like them to open up a bit because it might have made the game easier for us. But I suppose we've got that standing in Europe now.
That's the respect we have in Europe. But talking about opening up, second leg, looking forward to that, should be a different prospect, because they surely can't play like that at home in the Allianz.
No, I don't expect them to, and I think we're going there with a clean sheet. We just need to score, and I think there will be gaps because they're going to come out, they're going to try and entertain their fans, and obviously all the incentives with them. But I definitely think that if we notch a goal, we've got a very good chance of going through, because we managed to keep the clean sheet. That away goals really work in our favour. So
I'm positive. Getting rid of that away goals rule for next season, apparently.
Yeah.
I've read,
really?
I think like, don't take it for granted that they might set up the same and be cagey and try and bring us onto them to hit us. So everyone keeps like thinking they're going to come at us. Just be aware they might set up the same for the first 20, 25. I'm not going there thinking they're going to come at us. I'm kind of just.
But don't you think they're going to attack a bit more than what they did? And that's what I personally mean by coming at us. I don't mean they're going to be gung ho throw everything, including the kitchen sink. I just mean they're going to be taking a few more risks to try and score the goal. That's all I mean.
What I will say though is, even off the back of the game that we just played, we did have a couple of chances to actually go ahead and take a lead to Bayern. And the only thing I say is that obviously we've come off the back of the holiday, Marbella, people being on the sand, etc., enjoying themselves, and you can see it's just a bit. It's lacking a bit of fluency up front, and the final shot, the final pass, is a bit off. And I think hopefully by the time we play that second leg, we should be in gear, and then we can punish them. But even if they don't come out, it was showed from that first game, we still have enough to be able to unlock
to break them down. Yeah.
It's just that we were our own worst enemies in that game, I think, in terms of our finishing.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, I won't dwell on the Bayern game too much.
Can I just ask quickly then? Are we saying that we're going to go through then? Is everyone saying...
I'm confident. I'm confident.
0-0 at home is better than a 1-1 at home. 0-0 is fine. I think if some people would think 1-1's a good result because we've scored a goal.
No,
in Europe, 0-0 at home is great. Because last year, we played a lot of second legs away.
Yeah.
And we had a lead, 2-3 goal lead. But going away from home, our counter-attacking last year got us
some City goals.
0-0 I think is a good result.
That's a good shot there,
I'm not
Jay.
even too stressed about the result, or even the second leg. I'm going in there confident, thinking that we're gonna go through. I actually think it's gonna be a 1-1 draw.
Hopefully.
You know what? My mind's not even on the Champions League.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. That's why I didn't ask if we think we're gonna go through, because I'm not worried about the Champions League. Like,
it's not
great if we go through. Great if we even get to the final. Great, like. But I'll be honest with you, even winning the Champions League final can't like soothe my pain. Do you see what I mean? Like it's good. Don't get
Didn't
me
I
wrong.
just say that to you, JL?
Yeah, you did.
It's like, it's great. And
Paul
it's all
thinks you're
that.
going to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
He also thinks it's Clive. So
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
some different issues anyway.
He
so.
also said the sun will heal all injuries. You know what I mean on holiday,
bro.
like for their break. So
Big up
yeah,
Paul.
Shout out to Paul.
big up
man.
Paul. Big up Paul.
Today.
Yeah. All right, well, cool. Let's move on to the Man United game that we watched today because I'm sure there's a lot people want to say. Played Manchester United today. Score was 0-0. This was our game in hand, so our chance to open the gap up from City to 3 points. I'll just run through the team quickly because it raised an eyebrow when I saw it. It was Robertson at left back. It was Van Dijk and Matip at centre back. It was James Milner at right back, and then you had a midfield trio of Ronaldo, Fabinho, and Henderson, and then obviously the
Which
front
I
three.
called, by the way, early doors.
You
Blue
did,
Peter badge for you, bro.
yeah,
So,
you did.
Thank you very much.
But I can say it for everybody. My eyebrow was raised when I saw James Milner at right back.
Yeah.
Someone
I
feel
get
free
it,
to
though.
jump
I actually
in
get it, though.
on the right back situation.
You get what? Why you play Milner?
Yeah, I get why he started.
Do
doing
tell.
Please tell
Yeah.
me.
Like I said to you in the car, like the experience and the fact that Rashford had done Trent before or in the previous games probably was playing on his mind, and he's like, I need this solidity at the back line.
Yeah, Trent's a different player from then to now.
I'm not-
Even like I wasn't having Trent last year, but this year he's improved so much. Like he's into England international now. Like he's improved so much defensively.
He's still young though, and he's still got a lot to learn. Let's be honest.
yeah, he's
man.
can't.
He's finished
But,
article.
all right, who's a better defender, James Milner or Trent?
That's a good question, actually.
Answer
Defender
it,
or
bro.
going
Answer it.
forward?
Defending. As well, right, RB, right back.
That's 50-50, man. Honestly.
B.
For real.
Yeah, going forward, Trent all day long. Defending, Trent doesn't do that much defending, to be honest with you.
Look at Sane last year in the Champions League. How he defended him there, going backwards.
Who?
Sane in Champions League. How he played against him.
He had him in his pocket.
Yeah, he did.
Had
So
him
both
in
legs.
his
James want to do
pocket.
that? Do you think?
Do you know what, right, James? I don't think you've got a leg to stand on here because when James Milner comes up against pace, i.e. Zaha, it's a watershed moment. Yeah, and
Zaha does that to a lot of defenders.
but look, it's pace and it's trickery and pace, which Rashford has in abundance. So for me personally, seeing James Milner at right back, knowing what Rashford's capable of, I was having kittens.
Alarm bell straight away.
Anyone needs a cat, I've got some at home because I was giving birth, mate.
Okay, fair enough.
So if you're gonna play against someone like Rashford, you want someone who's good at defending and has the pace to keep up with him.
Mobile.
And for me, that is not James Milner. So already my eyebrow was raised. Sini, the midfield.
Oh man.
Take us
Boy, do you know what?
It's come like it's been a theme the whole season, isn't it?
Yeah, man. I know when the big game comes, it's predictable, man. And I was hoping that we'd be brave today and go for the jugular. I think it's well documented that they had Lingard injured, they had Martial injured. They weren't gonna have the full complement that they've had on this run since Solskjaer's come back, and it was a game where we had to go out and try and make a statement and go for the jugular. But the midfield said opposite, man. It said opposite.
Well, obviously Klopp can only prepare for what he thinks Man United's team's going to be. But there was no Matic today in their midfield. And I think I can only speak for myself. When I saw there was no Matic in, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No
and the
protection.
United fans were
Happy
worried
days.
about that as well, you know.
Yeah.
They were very worried
Yeah.
that matches weren't playing.
So for me, the battle in midfield was partly won with him not being in there. So why didn't we win it?
Because I think McTominay actually played quite well, to be fair. Like when you saw him on the ball, he was keeping things simple. He wasn't getting caught on the ball. He's just distributing it, and he got across. He was covering a lot of ground. So I think he actually played quite well. So do you think, like, you look at the name and think, oh yeah, we're gonna walk over him? I don't. He actually played well. In my
I think
opinion,
we
anyway.
made it pretty easy for the midfield.
Yeah.
Though. We didn't put enough pressure on the ball
course,
at
yeah.
all, and that goes down to, for me, the actual choice of the lineup. And when you have that midfield, I think psychologically you're setting the players up to kind of have a defensive mentality. And you know, we played well. Certain man like Keita has come into a little bit of form, and I thought, you know what, let's actually just give him a big game. And I think that midfield there, although it looked okay on paper, for me, because you've played Milner there, you've taken away the threat of Trent going down the right. So there's nothing coming from the centre creativity wise.
Backwards, isn't it? With
The fullbacks are going backwards, so you only got Robertson, and therefore the front three have to do it all themselves. And so when you've got that now, you've taken all the impetus away from the actual attack of the team, and straight away it just felt like, right, you know, we've handed it to them. And then as the game progressed, it got worse and worse. We're like, right, this team's here for the taking.
Well, let's talk about how the game progressed, because in the first, how many minutes? It was about half an hour into the game, there was a lot of injuries. It was like someone was out there with a voodoo doll or something. Because, I mean, Rashford went down. It was a challenge from Henderson. It was an honest challenge from Henderson.
Yeah, it was honest.
But he caught him. He caught him. So Rashford went down first. Then it was Herrera who went down. And then it was Mata who went down. So already Manchester United were forced into 2 substitutions. They kept Rashford on, they took Herrera off, they took Mata off. They had to bring in, is it Pereira's name?
Yes.
Who's another young boy. So as much as you're saying we shouldn't expect to overrun McTominay, there's 2 21-year-old boys in the centre of midfield who haven't had a lot of game time. You're now thinking, okay, let's teach these boys a lesson what it's like to play in this big game.
It's a great chance. It's a
Great. Thank you.
It's like a great chance.
But you know what you're missing from that is, like, we haven't got midfielders that impose their personality on a game, and you've got two senior pros in Wijnaldum and Henderson. You're expecting them to take charge of the midfield and to show these young boys, okay, we're Liverpool, I'm the senior pro here, and I'm going to dominate you. Didn't happen, and because we haven't got those type of characters, it's almost like we were afraid to actually put the game on them. And so, although you're saying, JR, that McTominay played well, I don't think it was a difficult game for him. Other than the ground he had to cover, I don't think it was a difficult game. He wasn't on the half turn at any point. There wasn't any balls going in behind him. And he wasn't chasing back the play at all. And Pereira, he strolled around the place.
Have we got a midfielder? Have we got a midfielder with everyone fit that would take it to them? I've got one in mind. But
we do.
I think you're going to say what we all think.
We got 2, to be fair. We've got Ox.
We know is the only one that
but the guy's not fit.
Where he's not an option.
not
Like
bringing him
with everyone fit.
Where he's not an option, all we've got is the little snippets we saw in the Bayern game of Keita that actually take a ball, step over and drive past 2 players. We don't have anyone else in the midfield that can do that. Commit someone, pass the ball, follow your pass.
They was playing within themselves, I felt.
Explosive.
A lot.
And it's just frustrating.
So what midfield 3 would you have chose?
Started rather.
I would have started Fabinho, Keita and Wijnaldum.
That's my midfield 3 as well.
Yeah.
I would started Fabinho as the 6, Keita on the left and Winnie on the right.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't see it was a no-brainer. And for me, it felt and it smelt like Klopp was scared.
Yeah.
It felt like he wanted that extra security of the double pivot, another screener, Henderson, who's not really going to go past the halfway line. He's not really going to impose the game, but he's going to be safe. And so in trying not to lose the game, we didn't have enough to win it.
And he didn't react when the injuries came in. He didn't, tactically change it, I think. He just kept it the same.
Do you know what's mad about that, JR, right? He could have even changed it at half time. This was early in the game. And we could all see, we're like, their midfield is emptied out. You know, even at half time, make those changes and change the mentality of your team. And think, Rod, you know what? He's brought on Keita. Keita's going to go forward.
So, really good point.
Yeah. I like I said, in the last podcast, I would, if we lost today, but we went for it.
Yeah.
Then you know what, I could sit and be like, you know
Sam
what,
did say that in the
we
said the same thing to James.
You could sit, you know what, we lost, but we actually went for it.
Yep.
We've got a draw. We've gone back to the top, but I feel a bit deflated.
Deflated.
Didn't go for them.
Exactly that.
Totally.
Feels like an opportunity missed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think as well, if you look at their team, you know they've used all their subs at half time. They have got no option to make any subs.
It's time to be really tactical. It's time to play that chess game.
Yeah, on Sky Sports they said that Rashford was wincing every step he took down the corridor at half time. You know that they've got 10.5 men on the pitch. You know that going into the dressing room, go out and go for the kill. We smell blood. And I just feel like we're scared.
As we were talking about in the car, James, we're too nice. We ain't got no killers. We ain't got no
We run out of options. I mean,
I don't think we've run out. It's more so much of run of options. Did Klopp exhaust any options? Is the question. What did he do to change the game? And I'm going to come ask you this, James. We then picked up an injury. Firmino picked up he twisted his ankle, which it looked really nasty. Yeah. And anyone that plays football knows that once you roll your ankle playing football, it's a next level kind of pain.
That's right. Yeah.
So we then made a substitution.
Yes.
He brought on Sturridge.
I personally, I agree with that substitution. I 100% agree with that substitution.
Tell me why, man.
But you hate Sturridge.
No, I know I do. But in specific certain games like this kind of game, you need that arrogance, that someone that can come on that is not scared of United. Because a lot of our players, they seem to be scared of United.
James, let me just cut you. You see that arrogance you're talking about?
Yeah.
Sturridge must have been on for about 3 minutes. He got the ball. He was like 35 yards out on the angle.
Wild shot.
On the angle.
I didn't mind that.
I said to my son, he's gonna fucking shoot, isn't he?
I didn't
and
mind
he lines
that.
it up. He's 35 yards out and he just claps the ball. I was like, this is why this guy don't play for
I
Liverpool,
didn't mind personally. I didn't mind that because
he's 29 years of age, right? And he has no game intelligence still.
Yeah, but do you know what, Sam? Hold on. Do you know what, James? While it was a wild shot, I think I know why you didn't mind that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you why I didn't kind of mind that as well, because we don't have anyone that's willing to do that.
This is what
so
I'm saying.
I understand where you're coming from. But from there, he David De Gea, he was never going to score, was
And
he?
do you know what
No,
stinks
but
of as
still.
well early on? Yeah, don't get me wrong, Sturridge would always have a pop. But where are you going with that desperation 35 minutes into a game? Play the game.
Playing for
Play
himself
football.
there. He's playing for himself there.
Well, yeah.
He's playing for himself there.
He is.
I didn't mind that. I wanted him to play for himself because he can score goals like he scored against Chelsea, and I was hoping he would pull something out of that.
Those worldies are 1 in a million.
No, mate,
bro.
yeah, but in those big
but
games,
if you don't shoot,
exactly.
you know,
In those big games,
so
yeah,
I see
you need
both
someone that can
sides.
come on
I
and
see
do
both
that.
sides
That's why
of the
I
coin.
was fully in agreement with that substitution. Personally, for me,
You can't play for yourself at Old Trafford.
I think you can.
need everyone to play as a team.
I think you can because sometimes a striker needs to be fully selfish and just literally go for goal.
Can you
if
name
he
me a
bangs it
shot?
in, sorry,
Can you name me a shot that happened before Sturridge came on?
Exactly.
no, I can't.
The free
I
kick.
don't blame you for taking the
Oh,
shot.
exactly.
No, that's not a
Yo,
shot.
JR, please don't upset my soul
man.
anymore.
You said
that
a shot.
That was
You
not
said a
even
shot.
a
It was a shot. It hit the wall.
That was not even. That wasn't even a shot.
man.
That wasn't even a
Didn't
shot.
even
Someone
know
in the
it was
crowd
there.
had a sign saying, "Can I have the ball?" And Salah passed him the
I
ball.
think for me, to summarise on that point, for me, Sturridge was the right substitution at that point in time.
Okay,
for me,
fair enough.
For me personally,
Going back to your point earlier, though, James, you're saying he didn't have any options. Well, maybe you're right. In that, who else were we going to bring on? Unless we bring on Shaqiri and go
Shaqiri.
and
Okay,
change and
okay.
go 4-2-3-1.
Me,
which would have
Sini,
been
and
my
JR
choice.
all nodding our heads, fingers up, saying that should have been the substitution. I personally,
Salah up top.
tell me if I'm wrong, I would have put Shaqiri, put Salah up top, put
Yep.
Shaqiri out wide,
Yeah.
maybe even put Shaqiri in the middle.
Yep.
Who mix it up a bit.
Yeah.
As we said, they had 3 injuries. They made 2 substitutions. 2 or 3 substitutions at that time, whatever it was.
Yeah.
They were all up and down the field. They didn't know where they were, who they were marking, what they were doing. So Solskjaer hadn't got none of his instructions out yet. So while they were at 6s and 7s, we should have mixed it up and gone for their blood clot throats. Instead,
Chris voice.
instead, what did he do? In my opinion, that substitution of Sturridge was a safe substitution.
one, yeah.
It was more or less like for like, not necessarily in the players, but in the
He wanted to
positioning.
keep the
So
same
Slim,
shape.
let me ask you then. Since when did Klopp become such a safe coach? Because if you refer back to last season, we were going for everybody's throats. Yeah. Now we've seen the evolution of the team, which has had defensive
I'm going to cut
stability.
you right there because I know the answer to that question. The difference between us this season and last season, we had nothing to lose. We had absolutely fuck all to lose, but everything to gain. This season, we've got everything to lose and nothing to gain. So I think that Klopp's been to how many finals with us? 2? 3 finals with us and lost all 3 finals. So on the back of his mind, it's got to be playing on his mind like we were in a commanding position. I cannot lose this position. So that's why he's now saying
It's squeaky bum time.
there you go, James. Took the words right out of my mouth. It's that simple. It's that simple.
Yeah, but the top gaffers, they go for it. They have the balls to do it. That's a fine line. But if you want to, get the title, any trophy, you have to take the risk. Calculated, but you got to take the risk. Even in games, so he set up our formation today. How it was, we could all see it weren't working. He probably deep down knows it weren't working, but he's not making a decision due to fear, caution. Where other top gaffers in games, i.e. Mourinho and his pump.
Half time.
Bruv,
I've seen Mourinho make subs in the first
I've
half.
seen Mourinho drag man like that. Like, come on, rip their shirt and everything. Like, Klopp, I don't know, man.
Do you know what then, JR? everyone's talking about the pressure and expectancy on the players. Yeah, it's Klopp feeling the pressure.
Of course.
Look at the West Ham game. After the game, you ever seen him go off a referee like that?
If he's not, if we're not able to transfer the pressure on him, yeah, the players are going to feel it even worse.
But you know what? But I disagree with that. Has anybody watched the interview with Salah and Carragher? And they talk about the pressure. Well, if you get a chance, like, have a look at it. He talks about the pressure and he says, yes, the players feel the pressure. And I think it's right that everybody feels the pressure. I don't think it's right for the players to be going in all blasé, like there's no pressure, and the manager to try and take it all off them.
He needs to take some of it off them.
No, you're a big grown man. You play for a Liverpool Football Club, which is a big ass football club. Yeah, one of the biggest in the world. Let's have it right. Yeah. We haven't won a league title for 29 years. You're damn right you should feel some pressure.
Absolutely.
Some pressure to
He did
perform
try
at
to
your
take
best.
it off them by giving them this break, the 2 breaks that he's had.
There you
I would
go.
say that's taking the
There
pressure
you
off, get them
go.
away from it.
There you go. Well, there are benefits to warm weather training, i.e., your muscles, they warm up quicker in the heat, X, Y, and Z, less time warming up, so you've got more time to actually execute your plans. I read a piece on the benefits of, and I understand it. But again, that's a treat as well. You're away, blah blah blah. But at the same time, as for him taking the pressure off of players, I don't really agree with that. Everybody should feel the pressure all the same, because we're all a team. We're united.
However the pressure affected him, he didn't perform today.
And I agree with that. 100%.
I agree with that. He didn't do enough.
What would you guys give him out of 10 today for management, Klopp?
4.
Yeah,
4.
3.
No, I'll give him a 5 out of 10. 5 or 6 out of 10.
What's a 5 or 6 out of 10?
I'll give him a 5 out of 10. We didn't lose the game, and you know, this is what he's got. This is what he's working with at the minute. This is the current squad.
You're going like, we got no decent players, bro. We got some. Look who's on the bench, bro.
Who's on
You're
the
talking
bench?
like this is Hodgson days when we had Jovanovic
But
and them man there. We got decent.
Who's on the bench though?
The ballers.
Keita is on the bench. Trent's on the bench. Shaqiri's on the bench. That's it. I'm not even gonna get to Origi.
Don't say the old guy. The old guy. Don't know.
The one with the
the
red
the gold red.
Yeah,
Don't talk to him. Don't talk to him.
No.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, okay.
There were options on the bench. There were options,
for sure.
definitely.
In that game, like we could. Sorry to cut you. We couldn't. Our delivery was so poor today. Trent delivery is decent.
That
Like,
I agree with.
yeah.
That
So,
100%.
like,
While you're talking about delivery, can somebody explain to me how we've scored the most goals from corners this season?
Crazy.
I beg you, some of our watchers, our viewers, our listeners, put the stats and send it to us. Because
Please.
how have we scored 11 goals from corners? Which 11 goals?
I'm telling you.
I remember 2.
It's crazy because our set pieces are woeful.
Oh, they're
shocking.
shocking.
Woeful.
They're just hung up all the time, aren't they? Or they hung up,
Or
or they hit
first
the first
man.
man.
First man.
How you're like you got like about 20 seconds like in your mind, set yourself for the corner, and you hit the first man. I don't understand what it's about. You're a pro. Like if you're a corner taker, did you ever see Beckham really hitting first man?
What happened to staying behind after practice? Is that a dead art, or do they not do that anymore?
But you know what the issue is with that? According to the stats, we're top in the league. So Klopp's not addressing that.
It's crazy.
He's not addressing that. He's looking and thinking, yeah, do you know what? We're doing good. We're doing all right. But I don't understand it because we as fans see horrible corners and free kicks week
Consistently.
in, week out.
Consistently.
I can't remember a great set piece we took. No, tell a lie. I think it was Burnley away, where it was played to. I think Shaqiri stopped it. Trent flipped it back post. And Van Dijk put it across for Firmino to score. That was the last proper set piece.
That's the last one I remember
and
too,
I was
to
like,
be fair.
wow, that was amazing.
My team scored a decent header against Southampton early doors in the season. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was a good winning.
He did that today as well.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I see it, and I thought of you straight away.
You had a good game today, to be fair. You had a decent game. You had a decent game today.
Do you know what, boys? We haven't even got on to the front three, and
Oh God.
I mean,
front three nonsense.
I think this is going to be the most they hear my
Too
voice
much
on a
reliance.
podcast because, like,
Vent,
I've got things that.
vent, bro.
Listen, Matt. Listen. What is the over reliance on Mo Salah?
Mad.
Everything has to go through this guy.
I'm telling you.
Mane today, yeah. Please, do you know what? Big shout out to Mane because I think he was
lizard.
the one standout player for me today. Yeah, I think he was the danger man, the key man today. Yeah, he was the one that could make things happen. But when we get the ball, there is such an over reliance on Mo Salah getting it to Mo, and today he couldn't hold the ball. His touch was woeful.
Awful.
He looked nervous. He looked nervous today.
Preach.
Luke Shaw had him in the hockey. Did you see when he was going at Mata? Mata was on one leg.
Oh,
leg.
gosh.
And I thought it was Shaw that tackled him. Then I saw the replay. I said, "What? That was
It
Mata."
summed it up, that challenge. It summed it up.
You know what? Actually, Klopp can get a 6 out of 10 for dragging him. Because he had to
There you
drag
go.
him.
Do you know what?
There you go.
Talking of that though, I was gonna say to Slimmer, you know, we should have played Paul's voice note, in this episode for how upset he was that Salah got hooked. Because at the time I was like, no, hook him.
Hell yeah.
And Paul was like, do you know
Didn't
what?
deserve
Yeah,
to
you
stay on the pitch.
never hook your most likely chance of scoring a goal. But today,
You could.
He was nowhere
didn't
near
matter
it.
what you
today
done.
was the day he'd miss an open goal. Like he was just so bad.
Even in the game like that, why not just switch like Mane and Salah?
Yeah.
wings?
Yeah, we
Luke
talked
Shaw's
about
got
I
this.
don't
to
understand
Yeah.
why we don't do
just
that.
swap wings for like 5-10 minutes.
And just see if you get any joy.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I could see it. Like we kept clipping the ball over the top, and it was Shaw and Salah in a foot race. And I'm saying, I was watching it with Jules. Yeah, big up Fridge. I was saying to him, Shaw is not a slouch in a foot race. He's not gonna beat Shaw. The only way you beat Shaw if he doesn't see the ball and it comes in behind him and the Salah gets a jump.
Yeah.
And time again, we're trying to clip the ball over the top for Salah to run onto, and it just wasn't working.
We've become too predictable.
No,
with this
but you know
front
what? That
three.
was because
James,
we had no
that's the
creativity.
words.
We've become too predictable.
The
It's actually getting boring.
predictability of our attack
It's actually
is
getting boring.
shocking.
We've
Shocking.
become too predictable with this front three. It's getting boring,
Front
actually.
three, they just look flat. There's no like shape to them. They look flat. So when you're flat, you're just up against the defenders.
Wait, what happened to the throwback of last season when they were interchanging?
Yeah.
They were interchanging. Like, what's happened?
Last
It's
time
like-
I saw it was the Bournemouth game.
The fluidity, the movement is what used to kill people.
Yeah, it's that
I mean,
the
to
in,
be
out.
fair, for today, obviously Sturridge came on early, and that kills the fluidity because he slows down everything.
Because he comes deep a lot
Because
as
he
well.
comes deep as well.
Yeah,
So
he comes
I'm not
deep,
going to talk
halfway
about it too
line
much
deep.
for today's game, but generally,
Well,
our
the front
movements were
three
great.
in the last 4 or 5 games today just epitomised what the front three have been in the last 4 or 5 games for me.
We've got to try something different, man.
Yeah, do
got
you
to
feel
try
that the
something
lack of
different.
options, they feel a bit comfortable that they know they're going to play?
yeah, standard. We said
There
this
you
from
go.
time. It's like
can I
they've
just
got no
say-
competition, have they?
I was sat there last podcast I came here. He was saying, or Slim was saying, no more signings in January. And I looked at him, I was like, are you crazy? No more signings in January. We want to go through the whole of this rest of the season with no more, not even one more attacking signing. Do you remember that, please?
I
Please.
do remember.
That for me is the killer blow for me. And I keep going back to it because it hurts me. We should have bought, I know it's gone, but you're saying no more options, right? We should have bought an attacking signing this January window just to give those front three something to think about.
But can I
sometimes
counter
as
your
well.
argument though?
Yes, you can.
Can I counter your argument though?
Of course
Having
you
no
can.
signings and having no competition means they get to play and they play often, and it breeds fluidity and it breeds confidence. Like, I'm playing, we know each other, and we play week in, week out together. I'm not looking over my shoulder at somebody else. So whilst I understand what you're saying to me, for me, the lack of options isn't the issue. What I think, you know what? Sorry, Sam. What I think, what I heard the other day on TalkSport was Adrian Durham say, "Is Klopp coaching the front three?" And I was like, "Shut up, you pleb." Of course he's coaching the front three, but watching them over the last few games, I'm starting to think, what is he really doing with them? Like JR said, something simple as switching flanks.
Yes, that is
Where
true.
is that option?
That
Where
is-
is
that
that?
has got to be seen. We've got to see
and
more of that.
Now what Sam's saying, the fluidity of us, the interchanging, where is that? Why is that not in there? So whilst you might not have options off the bench, if you're doing these things and you're changing it up in game, it's not such a big issue, because where he's not getting no joy over this on the right side, he might get joy some on the left or in the middle. So
That's basic stuff. That's what, like, at the level that we've probably played, we've done.
okay, but if they're not getting instructions from the sideline, if Klopp's not,
Do it yourself, yeah.
game
No.
management.
They don't
Game
need that. They
management.
don't need that.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying, we know how much our players adore Klopp, like Klopp, and run through brick walls for him. Maybe they don't want to take it on themselves and go against what he said.
That goes back to character then, like what we talked about in the midfield. People are not going to impose their own characters and their game onto a live match. Yeah, they can't be just waiting for instructions all the time. These are senior pros.
You got to go out there and grab your opportunity.
You've seen Salah's seen, yeah, for the whole game, he touches off, he's not getting no joy. He just has to communicate with Mane. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Klopp's not going to fine him for it. You know what I mean? Like, they don't... There's no ingenuity there at the moment.
Yeah.
And what you mentioned about, them not having no competition, and and not having to look over their shoulder. It's not about looking over their shoulder. It's about knowing there's pressure for their place.
That's the key.
Yeah, and if they've got pressure for their
And
place,
that's
they
why
will
taking
fucking
Salah off
perform.
today was key for me.
They will fucking perform. And at the moment, Firmino knows no one's taking his place.
Yeah.
Salah knows no one's taking his place.
And if they take his place, he knows he's in next game because he knows they're not good.
Do you know what? The only time they're taking his place, they're taking his position, not his place in the team. He's playing up front. He's still in the team. Now, unless he's injured, he's playing every game.
And I think like going to like our biggest rivals, Man City, when you look across their front three, they've got options. So all the players know they have to perform. Like Sani can't get in the team. So when he comes on, he's trying his hardest.
Yeah,
to let the
100%.
manager know, yo boss, Pep, I need to be in this team.
Yeah.
So I'm coming on, I'm in business. Sterling will be out for a few games. Aguero might come up for Jesus. Jesus scores 4 goals. You know what I'm saying? So Aguero, when Jesus
100%.
first come, Aguero was bombed. And then Aguero, what did he do? I reckon he went on the training ground and he worked even harder on his game. Look at him now.
Yeah.
Back-to-back hat
Different
tricks.
player.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, do we have that?
Why have we never been able to maintain a squad that has real competition for places? Yeah, I know it's because we're not really a winning team like Man City.
You know,
It
there you
always
go.
been something
You
every
answered your own
year.
question.
But-
Exactly that.
So
I've
when
said
do we
it.
build that? When we win a trophy,
Yeah.
and then we can bring in real targets and say, look,
We've never been able to keep top talent on our bench, and for years I've said that. And the reason why is because we're not a winning team. We're not winning. We don't have the money that Man City will pay players' wages. 2, we don't have a Pep Guardiola who, well, do you know what? Saying that Klopp, Pep, probably the same level.
Yeah.
And 3, we're not winning anything recently for players to say, do you know what? Okay, if I sit on this bench and I get a game here, a game there, I'm going to end up with a trophy and a medal. Do you see what I mean? So I think that's the biggest thing. Man City are winning trophies right now. I mean, as it stands today, they've just won the Carabao Cup. They've retained the Carabao Cup. They're like one win behind us for the most league cups. You know what I'm saying? So you'd happily sit on that
I don't
bench.
think it's about like winning trophies. Trophies is the direction of the way your club is
Yeah,
going.
okay, maybe, yeah.
And it has. I've heard before like Klopp has influenced players to come to us like Naby. Like Klopp was a big factor for him. There's a few other players I've heard like Klopp, the direction that Liverpool's going in. We are going in the right direction.
Definitely.
And we are getting where before like we couldn't sign these players because they would like William. He pied us off. Enough players have pied us off.
Yeah.
Liverpool, nah. But now we're in the Champions League. Like Champions League, like will be our 3rd year in a row. And they do say Champions League, it attracts a higher breed of player.
Yeah.
Like the top shelf Class A.
Yeah.
You don't get in the Class B and Class C.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
do you know
We've
what
had
it is,
that for too
Joe?
many
It's
years.
like that comes hand in hand. Champions League is the one thing, yeah. The other thing is challenging every year. Even if we weren't winning every year, this is the first year we've challenged for the title. Yeah,
Well,
and since Brendan?
was that 2013-14 season?
Did you see this year coming though? Like the challenge that we were putting on. Did you see?
Do you know?
Yes,
I didn't.
I didn't
I
sense
didn't
it, no.
sense it.
Yeah,
I didn't sense
Came
I
out of
think a lot
nowhere.
of other fans.
I sensed it after what we
I
spent.
personally didn't, because we spent money before on players and they've been like we've just been flopping. But as a team, I think our squad is going in the right direction. I don't think
I felt it. I felt it from the end. No, from when we signed Van Dijk,
Yeah.
and I watched the way that he was playing on that
Yeah, after
run
Champions
towards the
League.
Champions League, and I think it was you could see the pieces of the puzzle were coming together, because obviously it was the centre back, and then it was the goalkeeper, and you could see that the areas that were causing us the most concern, because it wasn't the top end of the pitch, it was the back. Once we addressed that, you could see the change in the dynamic, and that started to breed the confidence to say, do you know what? If we can maintain that kind of form we had towards the end of last season and take it into this, add in a couple more players like we did with Fabs and Keita, it makes you think, do you know what? Suddenly, we are a team that can actually put on a challenge. I'm not going to lie, going into the season, I felt quietly confident that we could definitely put up a challenge. Do you know what I mean? And I think when we do get Ox back, hopefully sooner rather than later, it gives us another option in the midfield that we're crying out for, to give us another dynamic. 'Cause
give us
what we're
that
talking
bit of
about with
push.
Salah playing out there wide, if Trent ain't playing and bombing on past him on the right, he's probably thinking he's got to stay wide to offer the width. Do you know what I mean? So it's a tactical thing. Milner ain't gonna offer the same stuff attacking wise that Trent does.
Good point.
So obviously for Salah, he's thinking I've got to stay out wide, whereas normally Salah will run across and Mane will come across the other side. They got different relationships because they know that there's an outlet behind them when they vacate that wide space. Do you know what I mean? And that's something that we was missing today. So it's a different outlook, I think, as well. Salah, as much as he played really bad today, regardless of where you put him, I think the team selection also played a a part in the way
Again,
that he
comes
was.
back to Klopp then.
It's
Yeah.
something we underestimate the power of Trent as well.
Yeah.
Clearly.
In terms of the whole dynamic of the team.
Do you feel the front three get the ball quick enough?
Nah. It's very rare. Do you know the 3 times that the ball got fizzed into them today? It was Matip. Driving the midfield and going straight to the heart. Now, if we're relying on Matip to be doing that, yeah, how are we actually going to progress with that midfield? Because it's not being pinged into them.
And to be fair, like going back what you said earlier, like none of the midfielders were doing that, putting it on their midfield, the inexperienced midfield. So you saw Matip actually big up Matip. He actually was like, nah, I'm taking the ball. I'm not going to pass it for someone else to do it. I'm going to go at them.
Yeah.
And he went at them, and then you saw certain, the insecurities of their defense.
Yeah, because they were like, whoa, what, like Jesus, like he's coming.
Free kick on the edge of the box.
Yeah.
They're being asked a different question. You know what I mean? They're asking
get over
different
that still,
questions,
right?
man, rather than just passing it. You're actually committing a man, challenging him to look.
Yeah.
Let me give you
Kind of the
something
same
else to think
types.
about.
3 of the same types like that. You can't. The only person who really could have done that today was Fabinho, I suppose, but he was the deepest of the 3
Yeah.
for the most of the time. And so, again, it does go back to Klopp's him. I mean, I can't
Selection, man.
stress enough how disappointed I am that he didn't pick Keita today.
Yeah, man.
Just for somebody
Disappointed in
different.
that. Disappointed.
Let's. I actually looked at what Klopp said. I mean, as soon as that final whistle went, I had to leave. I couldn't watch anymore because I needed to breathe. I figured if I stay and watch anything, then I'm going to go over the edge. So I left. But then I read what Klopp said after the game, and these were Klopp's words. Quote, I'm taking this from Sky Sports News. He said, in this game, on days when United are beatable, you have to do it. And we didn't do it. That's what he said, I think. Okay. He also said, it was intense, that was clear. But in the situation today, that's a 0.1 for United, and we lost 2. He said it was a strange game. We started really well. We started exactly how we want to start. And then he said the injury crisis started, and it obviously cost us the rhythm. It happened to us with Bobby, and that was a catastrophe. We lost the rhythm and couldn't get it back. We played. They had set pieces, not really counter-attacks. It was a game without a lot of highlights, I would say. He said at the end, United played with a completely new midfield, a completely new 3 up front. So, what does that say to you?
Raw.
You saw a different game to us.
No,
Do you know what? I know.
Actually,
To me,
I think his
he's right.
assessment was absolutely bang
he's
on.
right.
Thank you. That's
He's
exactly
right.
what I was
His
thinking.
assessment was bang on.
right.
And all he needed to add at the end of that was, I picked the wrong 11. That's it.
what I mean. Like he didn't. What you just said. He picked the wrong. If he put his hand up and said, you know what, I could have done the things differently. Cool, innit? But
He's
you
all right.
know
So,
what?
so he hasn't humbled himself completely and said, "Oh, I made a mistake." Yeah, but that assessment was bang on. That was absolutely bang on.
why not
and
change it
and
then?
he's admitted it, but he hasn't come out fully and said, "You know what, I didn't pick the right
He had
starting
the
11."
chance to change it, though.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing
Yeah.
that he didn't do. If he could see all of that from the side, why didn't he make the
Half-time.
effective
Yeah, I don't think
changes?
it was
That's
back-
the
Hold
problem.
on, I got a question
He
for
knew
you.
you were there for the
Did he
taking.
see it during the game, or is he talking with hindsight?
If he
Nah,
can't see
he
it
must
during
have,
the
man.
I don't
I'm
think
just-
he
I'm
can be
just
talking
asking
with
the question. I'm
hindsight.
just asking the question.
One of the assistant managers would have come. One of the coaches would have. Everyone could see how the game was panning out. I sent a message to the group, saying this is over at 68 minutes. Yeah,
Wow.
I could see 0-0 all over because it was just like Bayern. You could see it. There was no space. Yeah, and we didn't have any rhythm or attacking impetus to even create a chance. So I left the room. I started doing my Sunday bits because I could see it.
got no midfielders that can shoot either.
Yeah, we've
You
got
know
no-
what? James made a point about this in the car. He was like, "Oh, why don't we shoot from distance? Because we can't." And I'm like, "Right, have we really got no midfielders that can shoot?" And he was like, "Oh, Henderson can shoot." I'm like, "No, he can't."
No.
He can, though.
Okay,
He can.
No, he can't.
No,
Bro,
no,
we were at Chelsea that one game,
can
and we saw
shoot.
him.
He just- he doesn't
bang that
believe in
top
himself
corner,
enough, that's
and
all.
we're like, "Yeah," but he
Sorry.
can't shoot generally. He
No,
can't.
he can't, man.
Wijnaldum, he can't hit the ball 25 yards.
No, he can't.
Keita can't.
Can he? I think he can,
No,
actually.
no. He's got powder puff shooting. It's like once in a while he might ping one, like the Burnley game, but I don't think he's got great power.
They went back to the Ox. He's the only one that
the
can
only
shoot.
one.
Fabinho. So we got one player.
the only
you
one.
see?
One player. Let's not forget Milner, of course. But Milner can't shoot from distance, really.
No, but
Not
Ox,
now anymore.
Ox is the only one who you if it was 89th minute or 92nd minute and you need that one goal to win the league and it was in the middle of like 30 yards out or whatever to shoot, you'd pick
want him.
Ox every single time, wouldn't you?
You'd want
And
him.
you see, Ox, he can find a pass as well. You know,
Oh.
like when he was like
Yes.
Just before he got injured, that last month before he got injured, his assist was just going up. His through
everything
balls, his
was
passing,
improving, everything.
was really
his
good,
confidence was
man.
going through the roof, man.
He
You
had,
could
he had
see
a
it.
decent few games before he got injured.
Yes.
See, if
I'm
you-
not his
if you-
biggest
if you
fan, but he
fast
had
forward to
a
the
decent
summer
few
then,
games.
although we really bought a new midfield this year, do we still need more midfielders?
Yeah, we
We haven't
haven't replaced Coutinho.
Yeah,
We haven't
that's
replaced
it.
Coutinho.
The Fekir, I think that's coming back to bite us. That Fekir deal not going through because
I'd
that's
love
the
to see
type
us
of
start.
midfielder that we're lacking.
Because he pings the ball from outside the area regularly.
He does
regularly
exactly.
in France. I'd love to see how many goals we scored from outside the area this season. It can't be many.
We did mention that in the last podcast, didn't we?
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we don't have the players to do it anymore. We don't.
Maybe on the viewers.
We don't play like
let
that
us know
hit-
stats on that.
Good point. If you know, like, what is it? You're asking how many goals? How many
goals from outside the
goals
area,
from
yeah.
out the area we scored? Yeah, if you know that, like, please, like, feel free to hit us up on Twitter at Anfield South, at South Anfield. Sorry, Instagram Anfield_South1. Hit us up. Let us know the stats to that. Do you know what I mean? And because I don't think there's going to be
Struggling.
much to find out there, but.
Struggling.
Yeah, it's. Do you know what? I'm sitting there and I'm listening to you guys talk, and I'm just like, this season. I think this is the worst we've ragged on the team, and usually I'd be a bit like, come on, boys, like,
Yeah,
positive.
Yeah.
But I'm struggling myself.
But,
Like,
all
We
right.
are top.
No, I was about to say that.
We are
Would
top.
we have taken this position?
this
Yes.
position, yes, but behind that,
That disclaimer is kind of, it's a false sense of security because of course we take
Yeah.
it, but when you see how the season's panned out,
exactly.
then you can't think
All
about
the
when we
games-
could have gone 10 points clear, when we still
Exactly.
should have been 7 points clear. You know what I mean? When we should have beaten Newcastle. The hindsight thing is like, it makes you feel better, but it's just like,
It's not real.
it's
is it?
not real.
It's not real.
Because we are where we are, aren't we?
So right about now, would you say that we're kind of just leveling off, or are we rescinding? Or like where are we?
We're
kind of
still
like,
in our blip. That's 100% clear. I thought that Bournemouth was okay, cool. We can move on now.
Yeah.
We're still in our blip.
I think we've definitely sorted out the defense though. In terms, there's a couple of games where we were shaky,
We were
looked like
solid
leaking
today.
goals. The
Yeah.
shape went. It wasn't right.
we are solid at the back. I don't think we have much to worry about at the back, but I think where we need to start worrying is up front, because it's not happening. They're not firing.
Yeah.
They're missing a spark plug or something, because it's not happening at the moment.
The break came at the wrong time. After we beat Bournemouth, we had another break, and we every time I looked at the games as well that we've played after we've come off a break, and it's always a loss, a draw, etc. You don't come back and just fly into wins.
we are
Do you know what I
we're a
mean? It
momentum
messes
team.
up.
We
This is what I was going to ask you.
are
This
a
was my
momentum
next.
team.
This
That's
was
what
my
we
next
feel,
question. As much as sorry to cut you, Sini. As
Yeah.
much as a lot of us have said, you know what, and I've said it too. Don't care about this cup. Don't care about this cup. Is being in all those competitions good for momentum? Because I mean, you're
course it
playing
is.
twice a week. You know what I
Of
mean?
course it is.
But
I
there's
called it
risk.
from early. Yeah, when you were like, bun the Carling Cup, I was like, no. We need to actually keep momentum and keep playing 2 times a week, because that's what we need as a team. We might start to tail off later on in the season, but realistically, how we're playing now, because we're more controlled and aren't full pelt, we might have actually been able to carry that through. But then we went out of the cups and we were like, oh, do you know what? A clear run. You know what I mean? Clear
Yeah.
run, one game
I
a
remember
week.
the clear run, I was
One
like,
game a
what's
week
this
isn't
clear
actually
run
enough for us.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. It clearly
But
isn't.
we're Liverpool, man. We want to win every trophy.
Of course
Me
we do.
personally.
But we have
Teams
we have a
catching
list
us
of
up.
priorities.
You know what?
Yeah.
It's
Teams
only
are
me
catching our
and the group
records
that
up,
wanted
man.
to win the Carling Cup.
I always
No-
for some
no
reason
one
I
else
like that.
wanted to win it.
I like that. I want to win that. I like that trophy.
James, I would spudge you if you
I'm
next
not
to me now.
saying-
Because like them man,
wanna
they're not
win it.
interested. They're not interested. Bun that cup. I'm
No,
like,
no,
wouldn't you like to be there and win it today?
that's an arrogant mentality to have. We ain't won that in
Right.
like 6 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
break the curve.
break it.
All right, guys out there listening, what do you think? Do you think we should go for every cup, or do you believe in the clear run? Like, please drop us a comment at the end, the bottom of the
That
video
clear run
in
hashtag,
YouTube.
yeah.
Like I said, catch us on Instagram, yeah, Anfield_South1, on Twitter at South Anfield. Let us know what you think. Is the clear run your thing, or should we be going for all competitions? Personally, I'm a clear run guy, but after this season, I think I'm going to jump shit, because the momentum is a big thing.
momentum's very
It's a
important.
big thing.
Very important.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
But there's risk involved in that as well, because
Injuries.
obviously injuries. That's the other thing. You're playing a lot of games. Is the
You
whole
got
point
to-
of
you
when
got
you
the
reach
squad.
the actual pivotal part of the season, i.e., your April, late March, May, when you need your players to actually see it out. And you got people tailing off, getting tired, etc.
So do we have the
But
squad
Sini,
for it,
don't you
Cine?
think that's
Hold
more
on,
in
Sam.
relation?
Do we have a squad for that, Cine?
Do we have a squad for it?
Do we have the squad for it?
No. Do you know what I think?
Whose fault is that?
No,
then?
I don't feel like we do. I think we
It's
are
been 200
approaching
million,
the
son.
point of having a squad for it, but we ain't there yet. The only squad I look at and I say comfortably they've got everything is Man City. That's the only squad I look at and I feel like, and that's in world football.
2 players in every position, minimum.
Exactly. I feel like they are ready for anything, and that's why it's not a surprise when they win things, and they are supposed to with a squad like that. But I think we're approaching it. This is probably one of the strongest squads I think I've seen in my lifetime. Watching Liverpool, where we've actually got players to bring off the bench and make a difference. But
Like who?
I like Shaqiri. Obviously, Shaqiri. Don't get me wrong. He had a little injury, but prior to that, he's a good option to come off the bench. Beginning of the season, even Studge, he looked like his mentality from that loan that he done last season. Yeah, he came.
He was like, no, I don't want that.
I don't want none of that. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. He changed his mindset and he came back and he was happy to be on the bench, but he knew that when he came on, he was working. And something has changed. I think.
You know what? The turn of the year's happened, and he's not getting no phone
Brit
calls from his
Awards.
agent
Going to the
about
Brit
getting a new
Awards.
contract. He knows he's on his way out,
And
so
that's
now
what it
he's
is. The
playing for himself.
motivation. The motivation's gone.
Don't that last little tint and think in your mind like, I've got to keep going, keep striving. Maybe that if I perform, I might get a 1 year or a 2 year. You can't just give up as a footballer, man.
I agree with you, Jay.
he's
I don't
given
think.
up,
Yeah, I
but
don't
you've
think
got
it's a
to remember
giving up
Studge
thing.
won everything.
But I don't know if his body is capable to doing what his mind wants to do. No, I get that, but injuries,
prime,
man.
He's in prime now.
He's in prime
Yeah,
time.
but
No.
injuries.
Studge 29 is an average player 35. You've got to think of the injuries he's had.
Injuries, man. I just don't think he's capable anymore. I mean, I watched him today, and he looked like he to the naked eye, it looked like he was pressing, but he was literally just running round. He didn't put a foot in. He didn't do anything. He knows if I go in for that, there's a chance I'm gonna pull something or something bad might happen. So let me not do that.
You can't play half like.
But
Owen, I remember Michael Owen. I saw an interview with him. He said like similar body type to Sturridge in terms of injuries, and he said later on in his career, I think like when he went to Stoke and Manchester United, he said there was a ball there where when I was 18, I would have went for it, full sprint. But now I have to play within myself. I have to manage myself in games because if I go and sprint for that ball, I know my body something's gonna go. I can't trust my body.
Exactly.
And that's why he retired.
Same as Sturridge for me, exact same thing as Sturridge, and I can see it. I can see it. So he's not the same Sturridge anymore. So it's not that he doesn't want to. I don't think it's a case of not wanting.
When
He
Sturridge
can't.
came on today and I saw him coming on, it to me it's like Klopp just flipped a coin. It's like, who should I play? Origi or Sturridge? Like, that's how I felt. Like I don't think there's much thought behind it. It's just like a flick of a coin, and who should I put on? I played him for a couple of games. Let me give him a run out.
It was the wrong sub anyway. It was the wrong sub. 110% the wrong sub. We all know it should have been Shaqiri. Okay, boys. Well, I think to put this United game to bed, I'm going to ask a question, a bit stupid. I think it's a stupid question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Point gained or points dropped?
Points dropped. But nothing further to add.
Oh man, I'm caught in between, man. It's a bit of both because we're top. That 1 point we got separates us and City, and it can win the league. Right now, if the league ended today, unfortunately it doesn't. We'd have won the league off of that result. So I'm caught in between the two. It's definitely points dropped because of what happened on the pitch today. But
in terms
the point
of the league
we gained, it still puts us above City.
How many games?
Still us to throw
how many
away.
games we got left now? 11 games left.
Us to throw away still.
I think if you want a straight answer from me, I think it's definitely points dropped. Definitely, considering the circumstances of the game, it's definitely points dropped.
For me
today.
Yeah, for me, point gained, opportunity dropped. We had the opportunity.
That's new. That's different.
That's
different.
I think definitely point gained, the opportunity. I think we've got to look at. We didn't drop 2 points because we weren't winning. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So I think definitely opportunity dropped because it was there for the take. Like he said in the interview, it was there to take. We didn't take it. You know what I'm saying? So an opportunity definitely dropped today.
I like that one. I like that one, Jay.
Very well.
I like that one.
Very well put.
And I'm so glad you went last and said it because now I can copy you and be like, yeah. Well said. Okay, well let's put this United game to bed. Bad day at the office. We move on. We play again Wednesday. We have Watford at home on Wednesday. And then just to
Very.
go a little bit further ahead than that, it's trip to the little brother's house.
Little bro.
Is that what you look call him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
little brothers.
that's actually what I called them on TalkSport as well,
Seriously?
because I previewed the Merseyside derby, the reverse fixture, and I called them, and they were a bit offended. It's on our YouTube channel, guys. If you missed,
What's the YouTube channel, Captain?
did you? It's at Anfield South. Please, yeah, go and have a look, guys. If you missed myself on TalkSport, or even Paul was on TalkSport first. If you missed any of that, they're all on the YouTube channel, so go and have a listen to those. But yeah, I called them little brother, and they loved that. They ate that up. Yeah, they ate that up. It was funny. But so with the Everton game in mind, there was something today about Manchester United fans would actually prefer Manchester City to win the league over us. So I'm going to throw the question out to you lot. If it was the other way around and Everton were going for the title, Everton and Man City were going for the title.
Let me go
who would
first.
you want?
Let me go first.
Everton, Man United, I mean.
No, if it was Everton, Man United, sorry, my bad, not City, going for the title, who would you want to win it? Go on then, James. Go on.
Everton without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Everton without a shadow of a doubt. Like you said, their little brother. I don't mind my little brother winning something. Not Man United, I'm sorry.
I'm with you, man.
Not Man United. No,
Anyone but
no
United.
effing way. No effing way.
I don't know, man. I think nuclear war.
Nah.
And then
Everton's
everything
not-
just destroyed. Football finished.
Done and done.
Yeah, that's it. Finished. Nobody.
Yeah.
I don't want none of them to
Nah,
win.
well, he had a choice though. He still came out with a choice.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Everton
my choice.
all
Nuclear
day
war.
long.
Well,
Because of the number of league titles that us and United.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Everton ain't gonna win like.
They're only on 8. They're on 8.
That's not one.
They're on 8
So-
at the minute. So
Yeah, one. I mean, in terms of like, so it'll be one for the next decade.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So Everton all day long.
trust me.
You gotta
well,
live
there are
with
actually United fans that are happy to see their Man City count up like their next door neighbours win it over us.
Of course.
It's because City
It's the
aren't
same with
really. They're new rivals. They're new money,
Yeah.
innit? Like we're the historical rivals. They hate us more than anyone else, and we hate them the same.
But before City won the title, they did. Like when City was coming up, they called City little brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now,
Yeah, I don't
boys-
think
now
No,
City's
noisy
a
neighbours.
Big brother.
That's
I
it.
don't
Yeah.
think they've even won the title before they won the title. Is that right? That might have been their first.
Since City got new money,
Black and white
United
team,
ain't won the
yeah,
title.
or
No.
something.
I'm not sure they won the title, but back in the day even itself. But anyway,
And I dominate, you know, like, oh shit, boy. BC in that before Christ. In that, like, mad.
before
Mad.
Christ, liberties.
Do you know what? That is a dilemma that I hope none of us have to ever like.
Honestly.
have to see.
I don't wanna have to
really,
witness
when we
that.
play Everton, I don't have no. I'm not like.
Exactly. There's
I
nothing.
don't feel like that bitterness towards Everton.
No,
It's just
nor do
like,
I.
I think it's more of a
Nor do I
inter-city
anymore.
being. If you are from
Yeah.
the city,
It used
I
to
think
be
you feel
huge.
that rivalry a bit
Yeah.
more. But being from down south, I think we probably feel an Arsenal game,
Arsenal,
Chelsea,
bro. Arsenal's the-
even. You know what I mean? Because
I
we're
don't feel
around
that
those
with
fans
Arsenal.
more.
You
But I
don't
think
love
Nah.
Arsenal? Oh,
the
Arsenal.
Liverpool Everton thing is definitely an intercity
It's a
thing.
local thing.
Yeah.
That's a family. That's more like a family.
Yeah,
Divide.
like cousins
You-
could be.
You always like up when I meet someone in Liverpool, I say, "What are you, blue or red?" And
Yeah.
it's kind of like the family.
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
You're rather blue or red kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, definitely. But not to dismiss the Watford game. Just quickly, just have a quick word on the Watford game. We need to bounce back and bounce back hard. What any changes you would make for the lineup for the
I think
Watford
we got a
game?
forced one because it's looking like Firms is out.
Well,
based on-
does anybody know what his injury status is? What it was?
Generally, when you roll an ankle,
Like that,
it will
it's-
balloon up tonight. It will balloon up for the next couple of days. I think probably 2 weeks.
Think so.
Tops. Yeah, 2 weeks tops. It's just a roll. I think 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
we're yet to find any information on Firmino's injury yet, and as we're recording right now, we don't really do research on the spot.
Yeah.
But let's just hope it's not as bad as what JR's saying, because I think 2 weeks without Firmino, we're gonna feel that.
But with our options, though, it's,
Yeah, yeah. With
problems.
old Yeller, big up Waz. You know what I'm saying?
Are we though? Are we? Because when was the last time he scored a goal? To be fair.
it's
Against
it's-
City,
for me,
but
it's
he's
more
more
than
than
goals
goals.
scoring
offers
now.
more
Yeah.
than just goals.
Okay, I
You
get-
realise
I
that
get
Firmino was
that,
the
but
most
stream.
important member of the front three. You realise that, innit?
Yeah.
And I think you saw
Recently,
that when he went off.
I think that's
today.
debatable. Recently,
Say that again, Sini.
No, so I think you saw that when he went off today.
What?
With the first 10 minutes that Klopp was talking about, that where we was good was when Firmino was on, and when he came off it, that's when it all looked disjointed. That's why it changed.
Yeah, so-
dynamic.
Yeah. So why do you say that he's? like it's debatable what his impact recently.
And in recent games,
Goals.
goals, assists, I haven't really seen him do that much, to be fair.
Like against Bayern, some of his hold-up play and distribution off was outstanding.
Yeah,
even Klopp said it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think we've got with him. He's more like the link man.
Yeah.
Of the front three.
I just feel like no one should be. What's the word I'm looking for? Exempt from scrutiny. From
he's not
exempt
from
He will never be judged, for me personally, on just goals and assists.
Yeah, he
because
brings
of how
much
he
more.
knits the front three together with his interplay. As
wearing-
much as it's annoying,
if you're wearing
he's
number
more
9
important
shirt,
than
you've
that.
got to be scoring goals. Though.
Yeah, but
if you're wearing number 9
but
shirt,
James,
you've got to
you're
be-
talking about BC football, bruv. This is
Yeah.
2019.
No. You've
Number
got to be scoring
nine,
goals.
number
number
nines.
nine.
Sorry.
He weren't purchased to be a number
Squad
nine.
squad numbers mean nothing. Squad numbers on shirts at the end of the day, in my opinion, don't mean what they used to mean.
Yeah.
A number 9 can play left, right, central.
Yeah.
You know, and a number 10 could play anywhere along the front, along the midfield. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not about squad numbers for me. It's about positioning. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think like on the Watford game, it's going to be a very tough game. Watford are on a great run. At the
well, they
moment.
just
They're
won. They won
confident.
5-1 at the weekend, didn't
Excellent.
Would you be confident to start Origi and Studs up front together?
Are you joking?
Behave yourself. Don't take the piss,
It's
bro.
like 9 men.
they? Yeah, wow.
Liberties.
Nine men.
Absolute liberties.
So what are we gonna do then?
Exactly.
Firms ain't gonna play. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
put Salah, no, just like we said,
4-2-3-1.
today. Put Salah up front.
Mane, Shaq,
Mane, Shaqiri wide.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think.
Keita.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cater and
Yeah.
Mane.
yeah.
What, Cater and Fab centre midfield?
Keita, Fabs, Winnie.
And what,
Winnie.
you
No, but
are you
we're playing
expecting
two in
Salah to
midfield.
do the hold-up play, considering
Two?
the way he's
Yeah.
been playing recently?
Do you know what?
Fabs
Sorry
and
to
Winnie.
jump on you there.
Keita
I'm
in
not
the
expecting
middle.
Salah to do the
Keita,
hold-up
right.
play,
Yeah.
but
And then Mane and
if anyone's gonna have to do it, if anyone's gonna
Did you
have
hear
to, it's
that
gonna have to
sound,
be
by the
him,
way?
innit? It's
Say that
because
again, James.
Are we expecting Salah? If you want to put Salah up front, are we expecting to do that hold-up play that Firmino does?
no.
No, but if you got two men either side of him, bombing on, he should have options. When he's playing up front in a 4-3-3, like where he was today, all he had was that one move. And don't get me wrong, when it works, it's amazing. He literally backs in, he rolls the defender, ping, top corner. But most of the time, it just bounces off him. But he didn't have any options left and right. Studs was behind him. Yeah, Mane was the other side of the pitch. So I think it depends on his options. I think if he's got options, he can do it. It's not my preference, but I think he can do it.
okay. All right, well, boys, as you know, when you're having fun, the time flies, man. So we've got to wrap it up. Just a quick one for people listening. We did mention it last week about the Anfield South WhatsApp group. That is pending. It was due to be set up today, but I think with the emotion of the game, it kind of got lost in translation. But that will be set up, so keep an eye on our socials because that will be there, and you can join in. You can join the WhatsApp group. You can get in on the debate. And as I said last week, if you say something noteworthy, you might find yourself mentioned on the podcast. You might even find yourself sitting in one of these chairs. Ooh. Definitely not this chair, though. No. JR is here to stay. JR is here to stay. But no, yeah. So please do keep an eye out for the number for the WhatsApp group. That should be going out soon. Boys, hey, before I go, like I've said before already, find us on Twitter at South Anfield, Instagram, Anfield_South1. Leave some comments, like and share the link on YouTube, subscribe, all of that.
Beautiful.
Boys, it's been an emotional one. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure sharing it with you boys.
Thank
you. As always, I've been your host with the most, your boy Slim. Today with us we've had Sam.
Peace. Next time.
Sini.
Till next time, people.
JR.
Top of the league.
And James.
Many thanks.
Till next time, people.
Peace.
Ciao.
Oh my word, that's unbelievable, it really is. I think they should stick to playing football. Terrible. What do you think, Kenny? Oh yeah!